Hello everybody and welcome back! In time, I'm taking a quick break from geography games in order to play a game that was recently, very recently in fact, featured on the GeoWizard channel, which I'm a big fan of. It's Chronophoto. This is kind of like GeoGuessr. I'm sorry for boiling it down to that, but really it is. Instead of getting points for being close in space, you get points for being close in time. We're gonna be given an old, or maybe not so old, photo from somewhere in the world that is irrelevant. All we have to figure out is when exactly this photo was taken. I'm pretty sure this is what the youngsters nowadays call a dating game. So as a hobby genealogist since 2018, as well as someone who just likes to study and research the local history of the place they live, I feel like even though this is not going to be Danish photos necessarily, I could have a little bit of an advantage here. Although only very broadly, because specific stuff like recognizing dresses and cars from certain eras, I will have very little clue about. But without any further build-up, let's just press play and see how it goes. First image is in color, and already I am having to discern which era of clothes we're talking here. I mean, obviously it's a disco party, right? But this does not look like the 70s. This looks more like the 2000s, to be honest. This photo is very grainy. That could be a filter that is added, or it could just be that I'm misremembering just how grainy photos were in the 2000s. Honestly, this could be the 2000s. Like, the color scheme on this dress is brown and orange, which is obviously very 70s. Perhaps 2000s is a bit too late for this. Perhaps 90s is a better guess. Now, I think I'm going to stick with 2000s, so I'm going to take this little slider down here and place it in like 2003 territory. Oh, this is 2002. You know what I could do? I could do 2002 as well. Let's press submit and see just how close we were. It was 2001. That was pretty much as good as it could get. I guess I must have recognized something from my very early childhood. Hey, this is Editing Hamfrax. I just want to clarify. I was born in the 1990s, not the 2000s. And no, I'm not insecure about my age. I wish I could make this a challenge link for you all like I can in GeoGuessr. So we could all play along and see how you would do. I feel like that wasn't the easiest one to get exactly 1 year off of. Let's play the next round and see if it's anything like this. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, this is a very different scene. We've got a Marines helicopter. We've got what looks like a US tank and a soldier running across a field. Well, all this is on a field. This must be from World War II. I mean, they didn't have tanks in World War I. I don't even know if the US participated at all in World War I. Very obviously World War II imagery, so not too difficult. But, I mean, what year is this? I mean, that says 2019, but I doubt it's from 2019, this photo. I need to be a little careful because this might just be from after World War II. Just from the way this is printed, it looks like it's from a newspaper. So just the fact that it's black and white doesn't necessarily mean it's older than color photographs. I want to just be absolutely sure this is not a soldier from, like, the Vietnam War, because that would be a bit embarrassing, having said that it was obviously a World War II image. This tank is pointing directly at me, by the way. I feel a little bit threatened by that. You know what? This aircraft in particular feels very, very old. It feels older than the Vietnam War. So I'm gonna go with the 40s here. 43 is my guess. And the actual point in time was 1965. I guess my ability to discern the age of old helicopters is not as good as I thought it was. But let's move on to the next round. Let's not look at this for too long. So yet another black and white photograph. This time of a very obvious location. This is Tower Bridge in London. And just what can we discern, first of all, from the quality of this picture? Because honestly, quite good quality. Well, the problem with this is you could take pretty good quality photographs pretty early on. Like, we could be in like the early 1900s, even if this is pretty good quality. The next thing that catches my eye here is that we are at the Tower Bridge in London, a place where I've been, and I don't remember there being a riverbank that you could just walk around on like this. Got cars in the background, and a steamboat. Just pretty plain black clothing all around, trench coats. I feel like this could be the 30s, although there's not a lot to go off of here. With the amount of cars up here, you know it can't be the very early 19th century. So I'm gonna go with somewhere at least after 1920, before World War II. I'm gonna go with just after the Depression. 1932 is my guess. I don't know really what I'm basing that off. is a general vibe? Let's see. It was 1928, so before the Great Depression. That's within 4 years. That's pretty good. Next one. Alright, so this looks a little bit newer again. This looks like it could be from the early 70s or maybe late 60s. I don't know. We've got a guy being interrogated, or excuse me, interviewed by just all the press. This guy's up against a corner, but even then, they've got him surrounded. They're even behind him. Early 70s, perhaps. The photo's obviously also very good quality. It's probably a press photo, but it was taken in black and white. I know for a fact that in a place like Denmark, even though in the 70s we did have color TV and color photographs, the news on television were still in black and white all the way until 1974. And also this might be from a newspaper, which could also be why it's in black and white, because it took a while before it started making sense to even pay for color in a publishing that was only meant to be read for one day. So I'm going to say 72 for this one. Submit. Ah, no, this one was way later. In fact, a whole decade later, in 1982. Now we've got color, and it's another press photo. We've got a bunch of people in the background. Is this some kind of protest? Info is on that sign. I don't know what the context could be here, but I'd love to know. Oh, in fact, look at this. Wall Street Journal, New York, Unity. Does it say the date? Because that would be awesome. It would be like right out of a time travel movie. What year is it? Look at the newspaper. The color grading, so to speak, on this image reminds me of pictures taken in the 2000s and not the 2010s. I don't know about you, but I feel like the colors have definitely changed. Like the way the color is processed or whatever has changed. I feel like it was more vivid back then, or at least more contrasty or saturated. Perhaps because it was on film. And not digital? I don't know. So I'm going to say this is from the 2000s, but like 2009. It's not that early. Let's just go with this guess and see how close we were. Oh yes, it was pretty close, but we were a bit later. 2011. These are the game results. 1 year off, great start. Followed by, well, does it say how many years this was? Too many. Then we had a 4-year difference. Another not too good one, not too great one of 10 years. And then 2 years at the end. I'm definitely better at stuff from times when I was alive. Let's play a second game and see if we can at least beat this score. Let's go for 3,000 points, why don't we? Alrighty. So, not a lot of man-made stuff to look at here, except for the clothes, of course. This is not going to really tell me anything, so I can stop looking at that. But with what we're looking at here, I feel like this could be the 60s. Early or late 60s though. I feel like I should lock in on one of these halves because otherwise it's going to be way too broad of a net. I'm going to say early 60s and place my little pointer at 63. You know what? 61 feels better. Hopefully I didn't just ruin it for myself. Let's submit 61 and see. It was taken in 1960. That was the right choice, evidently. Alright, let's play the next round. Okay, so we've got a skewed photograph. For a second there, I hope this would have been the year or date, but it doesn't seem to be. We've got a horse-drawn carriage down at the bottom. Cobblestones. Moving into asphalt road, though. And then we've got very old clothing. Got people walking around with canes on the street as well. So this is like, at most, 1925, I'd say. Are these cars? Actually, these might not be cars either. These might all be horse-drawn. There's another horse-drawn carriage over there. None of these tracks are from rubber tires, that's for sure. So I'll say this is before 1920. This might well be just the 1900s. I'm gonna say 1906, I think. I mean, it is a pretty good quality photo. I'll say that. As I said, you could get pretty good quality photos earlier than you might expect, but I think I'm gonna go with like just before World War I. 1911. 1911 is my guess, and hopefully it's not any earlier than that. No, that was a good change of mind. It was actually 1913, so right before World War I. I feel good about that. It's going pretty great, actually. This is 2 rounds in, and this might be top scoring points. Let's go to the next round and see if we can't keep this going. Oh no, we've got another war photo. This is what ruined me last time. Well, this is in color, so it cannot be from World War II this time, or World War I for that matter. There's not much more in this photo, though. I mean, we're in a kind of humid environment, jungly. This might just be the Vietnam War. Whatever is this? What's this bag? hanging from the guy's helmet. I don't know about this. I'm not a military guy. Soldier? I barely know her. Got a coiled up cord from a walkie-talkie, perhaps. Perhaps it's a phone that's hanging from here. You know what? It probably is. It's probably a phone that can't get wet. That certainly dates this image. I don't know what the context would be here, but late 80s? As you can probably tell by the amount of time I'm spending here, I don't want to lose my streak, but I think I'm just going to have to go with 1990. I would really love to know the context for this photo. It was all the way back. It was Vietnam War times. Again, the Vietnam War has fooled me, and I get 0 points. Oh, I had such a good streak going, though. That's heartbreaking. I have to say. Let's go to the next round and see how well we do. Can we salvage this in any way? Got some bearded fellas. And we've got some German in the background. Once again, it's mostly clothing we've got going for us here. People are walking around with canes again. I'd say 30s, 20s, or 40s. Can we narrow it down from those 3 decades, though? Got people walking around in the street where you'd assume cars would be driving if cars had been prevalent in this age. So it's probably before cars were everywhere on the street. And for that reason, I think I'm gonna say this is like the 1910s. 1911? Am I gonna say that again? I'm gonna go 1912. And just hope it isn't too off. Let's see. Ooh, 1915. So in the middle of the First World War. But, I mean, we've had worse scores. That is certainly alright with me. I'll take this. 3 years? No problem. Alright, let's go to the last round, and this one has colors. In fact, this one looks like it might be the most recent out of all these photos. You've got a maple leaf. If this were GeoGuessr, that would have been a big clue. Bulls. Don't know which town that would be from. Got another maple leaf up on this flag. Again, it's not going to help. In the reflection of this building, we've got a big old castle-like structure. I mean, could this be Quebec? Could this be that big building in the middle of Quebec? Who knows? Oh no, I'm looking at this like it's GeoGuessr. I'm not supposed to figure out where this is. I don't see the year anywhere. The only number I see is this up here, but that's not going to really help me. It's got that very vibrant quality that I was talking about, but, you know, color grading in photos, especially with digital photos, is an option. I'm thinking this is probably a digital photo from the digital photo age for sure. If I could get this year exactly right though, I would be so happy. This looks like it isn't quite like 2020, 2021. I mean, because there are people on the street. I guess 14 is the best compromise here. Yeah, that's my guess, 2014. So for this last round, how many years am I gonna be off? Probably not too many. Just tell me it isn't the 2000s. Oh no! It was 2014! I got the full score. Well, that was a roller coaster. I gotta learn my Vietnam War. I gotta learn to differentiate Vietnam War from whatever was going on in 1990, and then of course World War II. Wow, that Vietnam War threw me for a loop twice. But I'm really happy with this perfect score. Obviously, there was luck involved. I didn't know if it was 2014, 13, or 15. But you gotta give me, some of these were pretty impressive. I'm pretty impressed with myself with some of these. This is my type of dating simulator for sure. I'm gonna of course link the game in the description. The name was Chronophoto, as I said in the beginning, and I could see this becoming a little bit of a phenomenon with GeoGuessr and other communities here on YouTube. I would definitely love to see, like, fashion historians, car people. This is gonna appeal to a lot of very different people with very different knowledge. For now, though, this has been my humble input. I didn't get to really reference my genealogy all that much. I hope you can appreciate my efforts anyways. If you enjoyed this video, that's great, although I will go back to playing normal GeoGuessr. For now, though, have a nice day, and bye-bye.